Right, on to this now. What defines marriage for you? One man, one woman? What about same-sex partners? Or multiple wives, or even multiple husbands? And when is one considered to be married? Once the lobola has been paid, or when they say, I do? What should the legal age of marriage be? Is 18 really old enough? The Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs has been holding public hearings as part of an extensive national public consultation drive on the new marriage bill. Essentially, what the bill proposes to do is to consolidate the different marriage laws. So that includes the Marriage Act, the Recognition of Customary Marriages Act, and the Civil Union Act. They want to put this all into one inclusive legislation for all types of marriages. Musa Chabane is the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs and joins us now. Thank you very much for your time and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning and thanks for having us.
Some might argue that, look, the three existing marriage laws create unnecessary complications. What benefits then would this new single regime bring?
Well, correct that there are those views which have been expressed as we've been engaging on the public hearing. But what is important is that all the marriage laws are now being consolidated into a single statute that regulates all marriages, irrespective of the religion or other beliefs. And I think that those are the issues that are being raised. But just to recap, Bongan, is that the Constitutional Court judgment, if you recall, has declared that there are some of the provision or section in the Marriage Act 1961 and the Divorce Act 1979 that are inconsistent with the Constitution because it does not recognize other marriages, and they've cited Muslim marriages. So the intention of the single marriage bill, which has been brought before by the Department of Home Affairs, is to rationalize all marriage laws into one, hence we're now engaging for more inputs from the public.
People ask, though, can you have a one-size-fits-all approach?
Not necessarily. We may not have one-size approach. It depends which view has been expressed, but the important is that the bill must be within the framework of the Constitution of the Republic, as the court has declared. But because now that the Portfolio Committee has not yet deliberated on all the issues that have been presented before us, as you have highlighted yourself, that we're in consultation and have not concluded that roadmap. So it will be important to note that the committee and Parliament have not yet interacted with the bill. We're now opening for public comments as we've been raising.
Sure. I mean, I guess I just want to get a sense of what the lay of the land is. I mean, let's break down some of the issues, perhaps. South Africa has had legal same-sex marriage for almost 20 years under the Civil Union Act. As I understand it, the rights are exactly the same as for heterosexual couples. So why would you need a different law in that case, for instance?
We don't need a different law if you understand. You have frame it well that we're consolidating all marriages that are existing into a single marriage to regulate so that we include all marriages for proper facilitation within the framework in line with all the religions, cultural and traditional. And as you interact with the proposed bill before Parliament, it will also give opportunity for all spectrum of society who have authority in their jurisdiction to facilitate their marriages, including traditional authorities, and in line with those that are same-sex marriages.
So how do you then deal with objections from some of those traditional authorities or even religious leaders, as you've heard Mtata saying they don't want to be forced to officiate, say, same-sex marriages?
There's no category of authority that's going to be forced in line with how we have now understood the proposed amendment. And I'm cautious that it's not a decision of the committee yet, but the proposal seeks to also empower the minister to designate those that must officiate certain categories of marriages, religious, traditional, and also same-sex marriages. There's no obligation on any person that's going to be forced to officiate if you, Bongani, are not believing in a particular facilitation of marriage. So that is the essence of the bill, and it gives minister empower the minister to designate such a marriage officers.
But wouldn't that infringe on the rights of those who do feel that the law allows them to get married, and say an officer or official working as a government official, for example, a home affairs official, should be able to officiate such a marriage?
Well, it may not, but these are the views that have been or submissions are made by members of the public and stakeholders, particularly those that are disagreeing with the inclusion of the same-sex marriage in a single status marriage. But as I've indicated, that the single marriage statute provide for a designation of marriage officers to facilitate the marriages, right, and does not obligate or force an individual to conduct or facilitate outside his or her beliefs.
What about child marriage? That remains a serious issue. I understand one of the questions you've been asking in the public participation sessions is whether the legal age of marriage should be kept at 18 or even raised.
It was raised on it arose in KwaZulu-Natal when we're dealing with the public hearings, and also arise here in Eastern Cape. The issue is that two issues that are arising from members of the public. One, they're citing that spouses will be, I'm relatively saying spouses, in the process of involving in a marriage. They'll still be young, going to school, may not be matured to enter into a marriage. But also the Constitution provides that the marriage who's a minor young is categorized as 18 and younger. So the proposal of the bill seeks to regulate the ages from 18 or older. But the views that are coming strong from members of the public is that at least they are recommending that the age must be 21 years of age, given the reasons that I've already alluded, informed by the members of the public who are raising. And it's a matter that they will also interact with once we conclude the public hearing, and also invite Department of Home Affairs to deal with that responses or all the issues that have been raised before the Portfolio Committee public hearings.
If you were to increase the legal age of marriage, say to 21, doesn't that bring up all kinds of other complications, including, of course, increasing the age of consent?
Well, it may, but we may need to work within the framework of the Constitution that define a child as a person who is 18 younger, and if relatively we're in the international standards in terms of obligation or protection of children. These are the views that are coming out and will be considered when the committee deliberate on that question. The central point that may direct us is to be within the framework of the Constitution as we consider to pass any legislation, including this marriage, but also without tampering with rights of South Africans within the Constitution of the Republic.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Musa Chabane, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Home Affairs. As he points out, these hearings are still ongoing. So if you, as a member of the public, have a view on whether it's polygamous marriages or same-sex marriages, the legal age for marriage, then you need to make your views heard. And of course, as they collate all of the views of the public, they'll get to some framing of what the new legislation should look like. One size fits all. The Marriage Act, should it define all marriages in South Africa? Isn't that what equality before the law really actually means? What's your view?
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.